Reggae interviews. Word sound.
This is DJ 745 for Reggae Interviews here live at Reggae Jam 2022 with one of the founding members of the Still Cool band, Joseph Blue Grant.
Yes, sir.
How are we doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here again and meeting all the lovely people and sharing the good vibe, you know?
Absolutely. Now, we actually planned this interview maybe around about 2017, 2018, but in 2022, we're making it a reality.
Yes, I true that, man. It's a dream come true. You know what I mean? 'Cause the festival busy, you know?
Busy.
And as an artist out here, I promote our music and I deal with the thing. Sometimes I get so busy that, you know, I have no time for too many things.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed this year is that your pitch here has kind of like become much bigger in size. You have a lot more products. You have some beautiful t-shirts. You have all the vinyls as well. It's a good vibe.
Yeah, man, it's a good vibe. It keeps growing, you know. It keeps growing. And there was a time when we were selling more products from other people.
Okay.
But it's like over the years I decided to make my own brand, you know.
Focus
the Still
on
Cool
Joseph.
shirts and Joseph Blue brand, you know, and our music. Because we have to do it ourselves.
Right, okay.
You can't depend on no one to do it for us.
No.
And if you sit down and get lazy, then you might go crazy.
So tell the viewers of Reggae Interviews, do you travel around to lots of other festivals on most years?
Yeah, over the years I've been to many festivals, you know. Reggae Guild, Belgium, Reggae Sundance, Holland, Rotterdam in Italy, then Rotterdam in Spain, and Summer Jam we started in the late 90s. That was my first one. And then, you know, we keep traveling around to many festivals. Nowadays I'm doing smaller one and less.
But really and truly, from what you're saying to me, it's almost like you're a veteran of the festival circuit and of the music circuit as well.
Yes, man. We've been part of many of the festivals when they were even much smaller. Like even this one, we were here when it was much smaller. And we grow with it together.
Right, okay.
You understand? It's one of my favorite festivals too, Reggae Jam.
Okay.
Because they keep it real, you know.
Absolutely.
It's a reggae festival. Yeah,
and it's got a very much a family vibe to it as well,
yes,
of course.
Man, family and friends, we all meet here, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And my brethren Mel is a man where every year we meet here, so, you know. Yeah. And many other brethren, so from England, from Holland, from Denmark, you know, Scandinavia. We're like a family. We all meet here. And music and culture is like a central spot for many artists and radio DJs. Every year they come here and chill, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
So let me ask you a question. So in terms of where you're presently living, is that here in Germany?
Yeah, I'm living here in Germany. I'm presently in Berlin.
Okay.
For the last 10 years.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And you've got this brand new album out right now here. We have it right in front of us. It is called The Direct Flight.
Yes, we need a direct flight to Africa from the Diaspora. It's on my mind for many years. I remember like 20 years ago I run into some people in a Palisades airport and was on an educational exchange. And I said, where are you from? They said, Ghana. And I said to them, when you go back to Ghana, tell your government to remove the visa requirements and we need to fly home direct, yeah. And for years it's on my mind. And when we were doing this album, I remember we gone 11 songs and we have so many songs. When I said I've written so many songs and like most of them not even recorded.
Yeah.
And I'm saying which one I'm gonna put on this album. And I was sitting on my veranda with my guitar, acoustic in Berlin, Steglitz. And it's like the idea came forward and said, yeah, it's a long time you want to hit this topic. And right there and then the song came.
Okay. Right, okay.
Yeah, and then I went back to the studio and said, hey, I found the number 12 song. Direct Flight.
Direct Flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years has it been in May putting this project together then? Because I know that you said that the Direct Flight...
It take about maximum 2 years because it's while Corona.
Okay.
Because we have as a set of musicians playing. As you know, I call all my backing band the Still Cool band because I have to keep this name alive. Yeah, and I keep working. And then we are like the last 4 years, you were together doing a lot of shows, small shows in between the big ones and, you know, the private ones, the and stuff, and we really develop a sound. We were practicing every week. You know what I mean? Because I said, if you want to develop a sound, you have to do it regular, not just come to rehearsal when you have a show. That's like that too opportunistic. We're building something, and then we decide, hey, Corona, March 2020, our first 3 booking came in, and before the end of the month, they say, hey, everything cancelled, nothing for April, May, June. I say, what's going on? They say, yeah, Corona, maybe August. August came, they say, yeah, it's also cancelled. No, what you call it? Tour for the fall, you know? Autumn. So we decide, something, Virgin, let's go in the studio and put the album together.
I think from what you're saying, it kind of seems like you've got a good working relationship with the band, and it only seemed natural that the times in 2020 when the whole world was locked down, you kind of had to regroup, re-energize, and focus on the studio works.
Creating some studio work, you know what I mean? And we know after a storm there must be a calm. And now it's out.
It's out.
Yes.
Let's talk to the viewers a little bit about some of the tracks on the album. So I think the first track that we have to talk about is The Direct Flight.
Yes, it's about the diaspora and Africa, connecting the diaspora, because many people, they don't even know how to get to Africa. And if you start checking out your journey, you realize you're gonna have to go to America, England, Rome, anywhere in Europe to get home. We call it home. That's is our foundation. Yeah, and for me, that's a kind of discrimination thing. And I have to go through your gate when I want to go to my home. I have to pass through your home, your gate to get to my home. I'm supposed to go direct to my gate and go home.
Okay.
And that's the idea of direct flight. We need a direct flight. We need to connect Africa and diaspora so we can fly direct across the Atlantic and not to go to our neighbor's house to get to our house. Foolishness.
What I think you're talking about here is self-reliance.
Yes, man. We have to do our thing. Can't wait on another man to do what we have to do for ourselves. And like in the song, some of the lyrics is saying, I see African airlines flying to Europe, flying to England, flying to Sweden, flying to Australia, as far away as to China. What happened to the brothers and sisters living in the diaspora? We need a direct flight.
Okay. When was the last time that you had an opportunity to visit home, Africa?
In May this year, I had a tour in Ethiopia. We did some shows in Addis and Shashamane. It was like 3 reggae shows. And I was guest on 2 jazz events with my steel drum, doing the voice and steel project. Yeah.
Talk to the viewers a little bit about how do the people of Mamaland, Africa, respond not just to your music but to reggae music and roots music?
Well, it's good. The diaspora must really learn how much the African people love reggae music. Yeah,
that's what I see, because I think that my family, my parents are from Uganda and Kenya, and I think that they're two countries in East Africa that seem to have like a strong majority of reggae artists going over. But I'm kind of always interested in thinking, what's it like in other parts? What's it like in South Africa, the Gambia?
Yeah, well, I heard the Gambia. I've never been there, but many artists have been to Gambia lately. And Gambians are one of the most vibrant reggae fan in Europe. Ever since I lived in Europe, most reggae concerts you go to, the most Africans in the house is normally Gambians. Right. They are out front stage and jumping. Yeah. So respect to the Gambians. For that, Yeah. Yes, I am.
What about some of the other songs on the album? 30,000. Let's talk about 30,000.
That song is a serious one. It's on my heart for many years. How many youths, especially children, are dying for hunger and thirst. No water. And we live on a planet where most of it is water. And people cannot get water to drink. And then drink dirty water and full of all kind of disease and dying. And they don't focus on that part of planet Earth. They are more on the materialistic things, and the developed world staying on top, pretending everything is all right. So I had to make a song about that. When I wrote it, 30,000, it was over 10 years ago. They said the statistics was like over 30,000 people are children dying every day. And in this time it's much more, but I still keep it at that level. The people say, no, it's much more. I said, yeah, good. So that's why like writing about to be poor is a crime, poverty is wicked, worry, stop this misery. I think just send me here to highlight these things. And who don't like it can bite it. I'm not selling out. You have to stand up for the truth and the right. Equal right and justice.
On the album itself, you've got quite a few different, like, I don't know, genres, I think. There's a really nice ska piece on there as well.
Yes. Yeah, there's a nice ska piece called Skasonda. It's a name we invented, this name, because I love ska music coming from that era. As you came into my shop today, it's a ska music in the background all the time, and I'm dancing. It keeps me, because I love to dance as a youth. I tell my brethren I used to dance for ice cream and soda pop as a youth, you know. So, and doing this album, I have this ska piece which I written for quite a while, and I'm always making songs, you know, and I said, hey, I want to do an instrumental this time. We're going to do a ska piece. I'm going to do a ska piece. And it came out, Skasonda, with my steel drum as a lead instrument, and I really like it.
Now, Joseph Grant, we know that you've been based here in Germany for quite a few decades now, I think. 2 decades, okay. Let's talk about a little bit of the earlier parts of your career as well. So, you know, a lot of people know your name from the legendary band Still Cool.
Yes, sir.
I almost feel as though a lot of the world does not know so much about some of the background, the history of Still Cool. Let's touch into a little bit of the history of Still Cool.
Yes, sir. Well, the group started in the 70s, you know, because I started out as a toaster. One moment. My first recording career started out as a toaster. See it? Jam Mojo.
Okay.
This is me with Santic Records.
Okay.
You know, Leonard Chin, this guy.
Right, okay.
Producer of Pablo in Dub.
Yes.
Actually, Pablo in Dub, I was the first guy recording on this rhythm.
Oh, wow, okay.
And on the Children of Israel from Orison did the same rhythm. We went in Randy's studio.
Yes.
And I recorded a song called Jacamarak, and the rhythm was made up right there and then, and I rapped the rhythm, and then later Horace Andy came on it, and Pablo ended up with us number one tune. That's how it started.
And the toaster name that you came with was Jamojo.
I didn't even give them a name, but my brother them called me Mojo as a youth, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was so it carry on, and the producer says first he put a nitty-gritty youth Mojo. Okay. When as a Rasta youth, them just say, hey man, Jamojo fits better. Yeah.
So, how did the first sort of footsteps into forming Still Cool, the band, how did that come about?
Yeah, well, after the DJ thing, I did take a break from the toaster thing. Okay. Because for me, it was just a fun thing. And then when you learn how the music business is kind of difficult, and you know what I mean, I decided to take a break from it. I stepped back and say, you know what, take a break from this thing, because, you know, it kind of, I don't even want to use the word confusing, but it was just not so kosher at the time. Yeah. So I stepped back. And then later on, I started writing songs now, real songs. And Sturrow Fletcher, you know, as a member of the Uprising team, we formed that thing later. Ewan Gardner, Liquor Roy, all these people were friends of mine, Dennis Brown too. And I started writing songs and singing my own songs. And one of the brethren took one of my songs to the Advocate Steel Band, a band led by Paul Dixon, Pablo Black, and Tony Asher from all these guys. Ilawi was the drummer.
The selector.
Ilawi was the drummer. And they were at Tarrant Drive. And I used to go to Tarrant School, you know. Okay. Yeah. And a brethren said, make we go check the steel band. And when I go check the steel band, I think one of the brethren said, his tune not playing, the tune named Madness. And them say, what, come? A song where I not even recorded, but the brethren them love it, and them go sing it to the band, and the man them play the tune. And them say, all right, since you're there, sing the tune with the band. Like a coincidence, and I just started. And then started singing with the band. I noticed I come to some of the rehearsal later on, I saw my name in the band list as a band member.
Okay.
And I didn't even ask to be a member, you know what I mean?
Okay, so it just kind of happened.
It just happened.
Right.
So I've been learning the steel drum. First I was just vocalist and learning percussions. But I was always, I have a fancy for the steel drum. So I go early before rehearsal time, take the stick them and go up on the guitar pan or the second pan, or, you know, especially them two, because I don't want to jump on Pablo bass pan too quick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was Asher, you know, Tony Asher, this keyboard player. I remember one day him said to the band, said, this is because you are too musical if it does a sing background and a lick cowbell. And brother Joseph Lee was playing congos in the band, and him say, yeah man, we have a double seconds up at Duke Street, you know, in my place. And they bring it in and I start learning the double seconds because it represents the whole chromatic piano. So there I start learning to play cards, and for me that was great because I like to sing. So I was putting cards together, making up new songs. That's why the Vice and Steel project came about, because most people say, man can sing with steel band. I say, yeah, I sing with the pan. So I made an album about it. Yeah.
What sort of artists in your early years were you very much influenced by in terms of like musical tone and style?
Well, it's a wide range, because I love people like Hylton and John Holt and the Whalers at the time, Toots, Delroy Wilson. And on the wider scene, it was the Stevie Wonder and the Main Ingredients and the Temptations and the Drifters and the Dells. We used to just sing all of them songs there as youth.
Yeah.
Because we love to sing. So we just hear them tunes, you know, Percy Sledge, Otis Redding, all of them. I used to just love to sing as a youth. So my family, my brother is a trumpeter. His friends call me Sound Man.
Okay.
Because from when I was a little youth, me just a sing and I go on like me a sound system, you know.
Right. Okay.
So I saw the thing.
Okay.
So it's set.
Okay. Now, a single that I have to talk to you about today is a song that is kind of revered within sound system. To be poor is a crime. I think that the lyrics themselves were quite almost controversial.
Yeah.
Let's talk to the viewers about some of the history of To Be Poor is a Crime as well.
Well, I think the controversial part is where we said to be poor is a crime. But they didn't listen to the next line. One have to know that in this time. Because at that time, when the capitalists and the socialists are fight out them war in the Caribbean and Latin America, this created a terrible event where people are dead for hungry and there's no medicine in the hospitals and stuff like that. And it was the poor who was feeling it more than everybody else. So the crime is against those who are setting the system, setting us up. The crime is against those who create that economic system to starve the poor people. They're not the poor people are the crime. It's the consequences, it's the system of poverty. It's a crime against humanity. And who are afraid to sing it? I was not afraid. I sang it. Some DJ never even wanted to play it on the radio in Jamaica.
Right, okay.
They told us direct, I don't believe that. But eventually we get them playing it.
Of course. Yeah.
Find ways and means to make them play it. One DJ I remember, I sent some beautiful girls up on his stage, and I don't want to call his name. For me, I never forget. I said, go up there and ask for this DJ at the gate and tell him you want to compliment him. I said, find some of your prettiest friends from Immaculate High School, you know. Those are the cream school, you know.
Yeah.
And this friend of mine, she plays panto, I don't want to call her name. She was going Immaculate, and one evening she called me and she said, Joseph, I went with some of my girlfriend and we asked for the guy, and he said send them up, you know, because the guard called. And they, you know, compliment him and everything. And they said, can we make a request? And he said, yeah. And they said, to be poor is a crime, but still cool. and she said to me, Joseph, he said, 7 o'clock when he's on this evening, gonna play your song. And we were all clapping and laughing, because I'm saying, look at that.
Yeah.
But the reality, he didn't want to play it, but we sent some pretty girls.
The power of the people.
Yeah, power of the people and the power of the ladies and the women. I told my daughters, you know, women, you are so powerful. You have to know that. Yeah.
As far as the group was concerned, was there any objection, any reservation from any of the members to sing those lyrics? Or were you quite unified in believing in what you're singing?
At the time, I think they were all, you know, going along with it, yeah. Because I think maybe there's a little bit, some hesitation,
yeah.
But it was okay at the time. We did it together. And you can hear it in the song. The harmonies and everything is a powerful sound. done together.
Yeah. So I now need to understand and learn, how did the song come onto the Jashaka label, the yellow label with the black writing on a 12-inch? That's the one that everybody wants to have in the soundbox.
All right. Well, at the time we did a complete album. It was not just a single, and the album was called "To Be Poor Is a Crime" by Still Cool. Yeah, there was even the artwork there. But Carl Fletcher is like our co-producer, because we all put our effort together to do this album, and he's not singing. So there's a chance to go to Nigeria came about, and I said I am not leaving my group because we are in the initial stage. So you and Leslie got to go and deal with the business, yeah?
Okay.
And then he ended up after Nigeria. That was the first place that album released, you know. I got one copy in Jamaica, and I gave it to the 12 Tribe, Jalove Sound. One copy from the Nigerian release. And on his way back, he stopped over in England for a while, and he was there for quite a while. And there's where he sold Jashaka a cut, and Jashaka put it out. And I see on the label by Jashaka Rhythm Section and stuff, but there was nothing like that. It was done in Jamaica. Okay. Still Cool and Carl Fletcher, all away production together.
Jashaka was more of a distribution.
Yeah, distribution. Marketing. Okay. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then it took off, you know, when Jashaka put it out, it just went run away like a storm. And as you know, 10 years later is another history.
Another history, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as the other members of Still Cool Band are, you've been over here for a couple of decades, you said. What's the rest of the members doing right now?
I think now and then they do a one song, because it's like we did our last concert together in 1988, and until 1992 we never met together to even sing one line. And I was begging them, you know, because I live in St. Catherine, 30 miles out of Kingston, and all 10 years of the group, I find my way to Kingston every day, because it was my idea, you know. Let's make a group and call it Still Cool, for show them, say, after all the fight we get, we're firm and we're still cool, and we believe in a Jah, and nothing can stop us. That's how the Still Cool come about. It's a way of life, it has a meaning to it, that you're determined and you're not gonna give up. And I was traveling like 30 miles. Sometimes I don't even have fear to go. I walked the first 3 miles to the highway out of Linstead and stay like this.
Okay.
Tractor, truck, car, jeep, anything give me a lift. Sometimes them carry me to Spanish Town and I jump off and go up on the bypass and stay. So again, most days.
Right.
And I'm gonna give you a history of how blessed I was. One day a guy picked me up on the highway bridge of Bagwalk when them sell the orange there, you know. I mean a bum, I see a little white truck, one not big truck, a small one. And he picked me up and I said, where you go, Jared? I said, I'm going to Kingston, you know. I have a group of Bill and one of the greatest group in the world. And he look for me so as a little youth, you know. He was a Rasta man. Okay. And he said, well, where you go? I said, up a Marley, Washington Boulevard. He said, I go in Spanish Town Road. I said, well, left me at the bridge. Because I saw it going, is another step closer to the journey. And we reason, the man penetrate my reason deeper than I even thought. And when we reach 6 miles, the man go in and pack it and take out $320, $60. In Jamaica, it's just enough money that they say, youth, go on your journey, go do your work. When I go on Marley, I say, Brethren, look, you come right and get all money.
Can make a horse.
Can make a horse. So there was a record, you know. And then after because we were doing most of the show with the 12 Tribe, and I think 1988, the last concert we did was in Trinidad.
Right. Okay.
And we did one at one of them park in Awacherios. Burning Spear was the headliner. And since that we never met. When the house closed down the music and the band take a break and everything, I'm saying we have to continue, you know. Because this was not just about the 12 Tribe music. This is music for everyone. And I was born to sing, and I'm not gonna stop.
Absolutely.
Not because you're singing with an organization and they stop promoting. You're gonna sit down.
Which is why here in 2022 you're still putting out music. The Direct Flight.
Man, and my album, there's an album I made called Can't Stop This Music with 14 tracks. You know that one?
Yes.
Yeah. All those titles came out of that. Because how can you get a blessing from Jah and put it under your bed?
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. I don't want to get into that.
No. You can't get the treasure hide.
You can't take your treasure and hide it. Jah give you a talent, you better use it. Yeah. But there's they're still doing a few, because I'm in contact with one of the brethren the other day. and I sent him some of the rhythms that we have there from that time. And I'm so happy to hear his voice. I was in Ethiopia when I got the call and I said, wow, I'm happy, man. You want some tracks? Here's some tracks.
Yeah. And you're still touring as well right now. I know you mentioned that you toured in Africa, but you've still got other tours and dates booked for 2022 as well.
I did what? Since I came back from Ethiopia, I did 3 concerts already.
Okay.
3 festivals. Siren Reggae Festival, Grace's Bash Festival, and a week ago, We Beat.
Yes.
Performing live. This one we performed on the last one in 2019.
So the viewers watching today, if they want to connect with Joseph Blue Grant, they maybe want to look into buying a CD, a record. How can they do that? How can they make that connection?
Well, right now this album is marketed by buyreggae.com, a company in Berlin. And they have a shop called Blessed Love Record Shop. They're selling all kinds of reggae, lots of reggae vinyl and stuff.
Big up Mark, I know that they've just updated the shop, right?
Right, so this is one of the new products. Yeah, out of that. And if you go to josephgrant.de on my homepage, there you can find links to my music, because most of my songs are up there on the internet, on iTunes, Joseph Blue Grant, and Spotify and all these places. Yeah.
Well, look, you know what? It's a real honor and a pleasure that we've had a chance to hold this reasoning, to talk about the new music, some of the history as well, a message to all the people that have followed you from the 1970s and going forwards.
Just keep on doing what you have to do. One has to do what he has to do. Everyone is born for a purpose, and you receive a blessing. It was there in your blueprint even before you was born. So live the life, do what you have to do, find yourself, love yourself, and do what you have to do, and love what you have to do.
Mr. Grant, it's been a real honor and a pleasure. We have to do this again another time as well. Yes. One love.
Respect. Give thanks. Blessed love.
Reggae interviews. Word sound power.